In the book Life of William Grimes, The Runaway Slave, William Grimes details some superstitions and incidences revolving witchcraft and hag writing. Now, according to the author, what makes William Grimes's narrative different from other former enslaved people is that he did have a continued belief in witchcraft, even though he did not practice anything himself. He was a firm believer in its credibility and the power that it held. William Grimes was born in 1784 in Virginia as an enslaved man. He had 10 different masters and was passed through many different plantations, but it does say that he passes for Negro, although he was three-quarters white. Now, he ran away to freedom in 1815, went to Connecticut, and actually ended up running into some people who knew his master. And there he was convinced to work in order to save up and buy his own freedom, which is exactly what he did. Now, he details an incident with his master that caused him to receive one of the worst beatings of his life. He claims that there was another slave on the plantation named Frankie, an older black woman. Now, he says that she was a witch, or worse yet, a hag. And it's stated that one day the master had an umbrella, and with this umbrella, he had misplaced it. And Frankie told the master that William was the one who had taken it. Well, when the master confronted William, William said, "No, I had not. I have no idea what you're talking about." That's when the master said that he was seen carrying the umbrella and even, bringing it back the next morning. And he wanted to know where Grimes had gone with the umbrella that evening. Um, Grimes continued to tell him, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." And that's when the master called him a liar and proceeded to beat him something horribly. Now, the umbrella was eventually found by the master's wife, of course, and it was in the exact spot. She had actually moved it to a different spot, putting it up. And so she told her husband that she had beat the man for nothing, but master obviously didn't care. But that was the first incident by Grimes detailing how messy Frankie could be. But it didn't end there. Now, Grimes, after he healed, confronted his master after hearing what happened, that they had found it, and basically said, "Hey, you believe this old woman over me, and you beat me for no reason." The master then replied, "Well, it may have not been for a reason this time, but I'm sure you would have deserved it at some other point." That still wasn't good enough. So Grimes told the master, "You believe that old witch, and she's nothing but a drunk." And the master said, "I'd never seen any liquor or anything like that on her." But they went to check, and sure enough, she had some. And when they found the liquor in the woman's chest of her things, that's when she became even more determined to seek revenge on Grimes. Now, unfortunately for Grimes, him and Frankie actually shared the same cabin, and they slept kind of right on top of each other. He states that Frankie kind of slept above the kitchen, sort of, and then he was in a sort of bunk thing right underneath. But he said that often after that incident, that he would believe that she could shapeshift into different things, and there would be times when he would be awake in the middle of the night or wake up in the middle of the night and see her standing over him, murmuring some type of enchantments. There would also be incidences where he would feel her riding him, a hag riding his back in the middle of the night. And he said that even the master would often call out to him and be like, "Why are you making so much noise? What's wrong with you? Go get in the bed with Frankie," because he was a little bit younger at this point. Go get in the bed with her. And as soon as that would happen, the hag riding would stop and everything would go back to normal. And what's interesting is that when he would go to get in the bed with her, he would only find her clothes. He wouldn't find anything else. And the author's note states that it's common for hags, as we know, to climb out of their skin, and the only thing you would see there were their clothes, if anything, or maybe the skin. But that's all he would see in the bed was the clothes. So, oh yes, and a small important detail is that the clothes were always wet. Well, the next morning, his master asked him what was wrong with him, and he said, "I had been ridden by a hag, that old witch Frankie." The master called him a liar again and said, "If you say something like that, I will whip you again." And that's when Grimes stated that it's true, she is a hag, she rides me. And so the master said, "Well, why doesn't she ride me then? I'll give her $1 if she does it." I don't know if he was trying to be funny or not. But Grimes stated that she would not dare ride her master, a white man. That's just one incident of hag writing in Virginia from a former enslaved person. So let me know what you think in the comments.